Inside the United Center in downtown Chicago, where the Democratic National Convention is being held this week. And as the momentum of the blue wave grows with presidential nominee Vice President Harris at the helm, some say President Trump's campaign appears to be falling behind. Joining me now is Bill O'Reilly, host of No Spin News on BillO'Reilly.com and author of the upcoming book, Confronting the President's No Spin Assessments from Washington to Biden. Bill, good morning. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Hannah.
Of course. So the latest DDHQ poll shows Kamala Harris leading Donald Trump by 4 points. Trump's MO, and you know this very well, is to take pot shots at Harris. He's called her Comrade Kamala. He's made fun of how she looks, how she laughs. But do you think that the polls have him trailing Harris because of some of the comments that he's making? What does he need to do to turn this around?
I think he has to course correct about how he presents his point of view. At this point, the Trump organization, the Trump campaign, is speaking to the choir mostly. Now, tomorrow on my news operation, BillO'Reilly.com, we will interview Senator Vance. And this is pretty much the first time he's gone out of his comfort zone. And it will be a hard news interview. I don't care about cat ladies or any of that. That's all garbage. But we're going to lay down a record of how Senator Vance sees the country. And that's what I think the Trump organization has to do now. Look, the personal stuff is just playing to the choir. It does not expand your vote potential. And they've got to come to that kind of a realization. If somebody attacks you, and obviously Donald Trump's the most attacked human being in the country by far, you have a right to slash back, but you should do it in a way that benefits you.
So how does Trump win over the people who may still be on the fence when it comes to him?
Not that hard. The difference in policy between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is vast.
Yeah.
Okay? And Trump governed pretty effectively if you look at the economy and the overseas situation in his 4 years. If you trace back the vice president's success on the federal level, it's nothing. Not one success in the Senate, not one success as a vice president. I mean, the record is stark, and that's what you have to zero in on if you are Donald Trump and you want to win.
Stick with the policy, and I think many people in his campaign are urging him to do just that. Former President Barack Obama took center stage Tuesday night. We know he has a reputation of ridiculing Republicans. He did the same thing last night. Here's what he said.
It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on. The other day I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day.
Bill, do you think Trump's going to respond to Barack Obama's comments about him?
Why bother? I mean, you know, they're pretty standard issued comments that goes back to John Adams and George and Thomas Jefferson. I mean, it's what these guys do. Obama's a good speaker, so is former First Lady Michelle Obama. But yeah, it's just politics as usual, standard stuff. Ignore it doesn't mean anything. I mean, I'm talking from my point of view here.
Right.
If I were running against Kamala Harris, I'd spend every waking moment trying to inform the electorate that the woman has no accomplishments whatsoever. And that's it. All this other stuff is just entertainment for the masses.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.